Hey everybody, sorry about that. Well, we figured out what that power cable does. It's my lights. Um, anyways, well, I had something I wanted to talk about tonight, but I just kind of had a argument, or I don't know what you want to call it, a disagreement with the wife, and I just thought I'd share. Um, you know, I'm human. I'm vulnerable. I'm humble, I guess. Trying to just share my experiences, and if other people resonate or find it helpful, then that makes me happy. So we've I just feel like my wife and I we don't really have fun together these days. We don't enjoy each other's company. At least I don't enjoy her company for the most part, because we always I feel like I end up agitated, or to give I'm an empath, and so anytime somebody's angry at me or they're directing like energy, low emotions to me, I absorb like all of that. And we had an argument the other day, and to be fair, I wasn't supporting her in the way that she needed. And so, not saying I deserved that, but we've been working on that. I've been working on supporting her more. Um, but in the conversation at the moment, she was like yelling at me and angry. And I was feeling really good. I was like up in the clouds, like, maybe I wasn't grounded enough, but you know, she was worried about something, and I was like, you don't need to worry about it. There's nothing to worry about. Worrying only takes away today's peace. Worrying about tomorrow takes away today's peace, I think is the expression. I'm not sure. Um, but worrying is kind of a waste of time. And I was giving the analogy of like, if you had 2 weeks to live, you were going to die in 2 weeks. You had stage 4 cancer or something. Are you going to spend those last 2 weeks uh, worrying about dying? Like, oh my God, I'm going to die, I'm going to die, I'm going to die, until that 2 weeks is there, you up, and then you die. Or are you going to live your life to the best of your ability at that time while you still have time left? Like, I know if I had that 2 weeks, that's what I'd quit my job immediately, assuming I had money to like last me that 2 weeks. I don't want to starve to death before I die of cancer. God forbid. Who knows? Maybe fasting would even uh, help. I'm sorry, I'm not being sensitive to the cancer people with cancer. Hopefully, there's nobody watching this that has cancer. Um, but it really is it's a paradigm shift. It's a mindset. Do you want to be in fear and worry, taking away today's peace, worrying about something that doesn't even exist yet? And we all have fear and everything, but there's certain things you can do, meditation or yoga or whatever, to kind of limit that fear, to keep it at bay. There's a healthy amount of fear, and then there's an unhealthy amount of fear. And when there's an unhealthy amount of fear, it can keep you from doing things, keep you from living your life, keep you in a paralyzed kind of a state, where maybe you're just keeping yourself distracted because you're in such a state of fear that you're constantly on YouTube watching videos like this one. um, no, but just constantly, I don't know, doom scrolling, whatever they call it, just next video, next video, next video. And you don't realize that you're in that state of fear or anxiety, or stress or worry, but you're doing that as a coping mechanism. And I'm not saying I don't go on YouTube or anything like that, but I've definitely been in that situation where I think I was stressed or anxious or worried about something, and so I'm on my phone to distract myself from those feelings. Anyways, so after our conversation, after she was yelling at me, I didn't feel so good after that. I went downstairs and I just kind of like reflected, like, what happened? What went wrong? Like, did I say something? Where did that conversation go? How did it go so wrong? Because I was feeling so good. And you know, yeah, just I think her yelling at me just made me feel that way. But anyways, I think we resolved that. I'm supporting her now in the ways I wasn't understanding. I didn't see it. And what I would do is, it's hard to explain. I don't want to say this in a condescending way, but somebody explained it to me like this. I have a frequency and I'm kind of up here. I do yoga, I do meditation, I do other things to raise my vibratory field, and I'm not in a state of worry or anxiety or stress or any of that most of the time. And my wife's kind of down here. She doesn't do anything to alleviate those things or to help her out of the cloud. So so what I had to do was meet her at her level. I had to come down and say, come down off my perch, off my pedestal, and just be like, okay, we're gonna handle this together. Even though I don't think we need to worry about this, I want to support you. I want to be there for you. I want you to feel like you're supported. And so anyways, today, and I feel like once I did that, she was so happy. It's like a huge release for her. Just the fact that I supported her in that way. Of course, I support her in all the other ways. We have kids and other things. And, she asked me to do something, I do it. I support her in many ways, but in that moment, she could only focus on that one way that I wasn't supporting her. And it was like the world to her. So I supported her. And today I had a conversation with her just about how I needed to be supported. And I ended up just agitated. I didn't yell at her. I wasn't angry, but inside I was feeling like I'm not really enjoying this conversation. I don't like the way this is going. And at the end of it, I kind of realized because what she does is whenever I bring up myself and I say, I need this from you. She brings up something about herself saying like, I need this from you, or here's how the way that I'm supporting you. That's how I would want to be supported, but that's not how I wanted to be supported. So my wife wanted to support me in a way that she felt supported, but not in the way that I felt supported or loved, I guess, the way that I want to be loved. And really, I don't feel like I'm asking much from her. I just don't want to talk about serious things all the time. Let's not talk about bills and finances and work and the kids, whatever. We can set a time for that. I'm not saying don't talk about that at all, but let's set a space for that. So I said the dining room table. We could talk about stuff there. You need to talk to me, you just pull me over there and say, hey, we need to talk about these things. Okay. Obviously we're in 3D. We need to talk about those kind of things from time to time. But I feel like with her, that's all we talk about. And it's not enjoyable for me. I want to talk about, I don't know what I want to talk about, our dreams, our ambitions, or I don't know, what do we want to do in life? What are we doing now? What happened? I had this dream. She talks about her dreams. Sometimes I talk about spirituality. As I mentioned before, she's not spiritual at all. So, but she's willing to listen to me and hear me out. And I like those conversations, but they kind of happen few and far in between. And so I was just telling her what I needed, but then every time she hears what I need, she says, well, this is what I need. And so then she brings it back on herself. And then so then I don't feel seen, I don't feel heard. And since I'm talking about myself, I brought up the conversation. I'm not listening to what she has to say because I want to express myself and what I need, because I'm already helping her in the way that she needs for the most part right now. And if there are other things in the future, that's fine. Or even after this conversation, we can address those. But right now, I want to have my say, and I want to be heard. I want to be listened to. I want you to understand what I'm saying. And I just don't feel that at all. And she doesn't feel that either. And so we just kind of have this cyclical thing where it's just, I say what I want, and then she says what she wants. And I say what I want, and she's what says what she wants, and nobody ends up feeling seen or heard or understood. We both just end up we put up these walls, and it's like, do not pass. For me, I don't want to talk about those things. I need to go back downstairs and just do some yoga or meditation and like recharge from those kind of situations. And anyways, today I was able to discern those things that we were doing in our interactions, in our conversations, that were agitating me from not feeling heard or understood. And I pointed those out to her, and I think she recognized the pattern as well. But it's hard to recognize the pattern sometimes when you're in the thick of it. But I was able to recognize that pattern. I think we need to do marriage counseling and just have a third party kind of observe us talking and trying to work through things, and have somebody kind of maybe interject and say, this is what you're doing, or, I see this happening, or here's a better way to do it. And so I think she was agreeable to couples counseling. We've done couples counseling in the past, but it's been a few years now, and I would say it's overdue. We're both kind of I'm more so maybe at my wit's end. Not saying I'm like ready to give up tomorrow, but a year or two, or I was kind of trying to tell her in a nice way, like, I'm not happy, and if the right person that comes along, that maybe I'm not looking for anybody, but they just happen to be there and they make me happy, I'm apt to leave. And I didn't want to say that in like a threatening way, but like a warning, like we need to fix our relationship because I'm not happy and things need to change, or this might happen. That's not what I want to happen, because I want our kids to have both parents and both biological parents. That's the ideal road if we can work things out. And if we can't, that's okay too. I'm of the understanding that they're going to be fine either way. They signed up for this lifetime, and anything it encompasses, they are well aware of before they came here. So I had to make peace with that, because I was carrying that burden in myself, that in a way I was just staying with my wife to, regardless of how I felt, staying together for the kids. And it's not really fair to her, and it's not fair to them. It's not fair to myself to do that. So that's not my burden to bear. But yeah, just kind of working through stuff. But this is my life. I don't want to, I'm sharing again, hoping that, maybe somebody will need to hear this, and they can resonate and meet me where I'm at. Nobody's life's perfect, even though we're all kind of doing the best on this broken planet we call Earth, as it is. So yeah, I'd love to hear you guys' comments. Again, if you have any suggestions that you wanted me to talk about, anything, leave it in the comments. I'd love to know if, leave me some comments if you have something you want me to talk about, that you want advice or knowing about, and if I know it, I'll do a video on it. If you have your own marital issues or couple relationship issues, and you want to share it in the comment, maybe you don't. Always down to chat with people. So yeah, thanks for listening to what I had to say. I did want to do a video on colors. I'm not going to do that tonight, like colored clothing. I'll go into that maybe tomorrow or another day. It depends on what happens in the day to day, and if I, who knows, if we get into an argument or there's an epiphany or something tomorrow, maybe I'll talk about that. If not, I'll do one on the colors, because I think you guys would find that interesting. But yeah, appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you like the content, like the video. I appreciate it. Have a great day. See ya.